been a while, hey? I think it's been over a year since the last time that I recorded a video on this channel. And even I would say the last few videos that I made were very different from what this channel originally started as, which was essentially the output of an era of YouTube, which I still feel like was a golden era at the height of the Casey Neistats and Gary Vaynerchuk had just come on the scene and everybody was making content and vlogging, and it was all really, really new. Fascinating now, even where the world's at with TikTok, if it remains around as it's currently under ownership and, reviews, and there's lots of messes. But so much has changed in the world and also in my life over the last 4 or 5 years. And for those of you who are watching this, I don't know, there's probably some OGs from 6, 7, however many years ago when we started this channel, and then maybe some people who are new and followed along, but there's lots that we could update on. Got a new studio. I'll give you a tour of that in a minute. It's been almost 5 years that I moved out of my own business in the consulting world and social media and making content and got a real job. I'm the Director of Revenue Development, Public Relations, and Customer Experience for the Regina Airport Authority, who operates Regina International Airport, the 15th busiest airport in Canada. And that has been wild and intense and great. It's been super cool. Navigating a pandemic at an airport was certainly interesting. My kids are now, Odin turns 12 next month. For those of you who followed along in the early days when he was like, I don't know, learning to walk and talk at 3 and 4 years old. 12! And then Nesta is 8, Rennie is 8. It's bizarre how quickly time flies and life. Megan and I, she's the best. Married 18 years this year. Wow. There you go. Time flies. And a lot has been happening. On the creative side, well, we can talk about that in a minute. Why don't I show you around? This is kind of the new space. We moved, got a kind of bigger house in a different area. Was fortunate to find something with an unfinished basement so that I was able to build kind of whatever I want. And so here we go. Let's kind of flip into vlogging mode here and see if we can show you around. So this is essentially kind of the set. It works pretty well. There's usually like a locked off shot that looks something like that. And got a nice big dome light and accent lighting and other lights and lights and lights and lights and lights and lights, which is sweet. This is kind of the backside of it. Oh, guys, it's been a while since I operated this camera. There's a way to do this to make it brighter. Hold on. Aha. Wait, no, is that working? I think it's working. Yes, there we go. So, golf clubs. Love golf. That was like the newest hobby and addiction over the last couple of years. Nice little bit of storage there. There's no record player. I don't have many records, but there's a couple things there. Speakers, more storage, stands, a little bit of seating space, but generally the camera is sitting there and showing off this stuff, which ends up working reasonably well. The space here is about 20 feet long by 13 feet wide, and it works out quite well. This is a TV that got sent to me, and my kids were playing with it and tried to move it, and they smashed the entire thing, which is, that's kids for you, hey? Kids. It's a nice space, but honestly, I haven't been making that much for videos, as you may or may not know. Some of that is the nature of life and circumstances, and also just what I would describe as burnout. And if you're not familiar with burnout is a very interesting thing. And one of the big changes for me when it came to videos was I connected with some guys who were connected with a company who would connect with Amazon and make videos for Amazon and tech companies. And there's maybe a couple of those products that ended up on the channel here, but essentially I was making 90-second to 3 to 4 minute long videos for companies like LG and SanDisk and I can't even remember all the companies, just lots of different tech companies that on their Amazon pages wanted to have videos on that page. And so this company found me actually through my YouTube channel, and I began making videos for them, and it was great because they paid really well. And they were very, very difficult for me to make. Mostly because when you're not in a good space and you're tired of making videos and sick of making videos, and then it's something you have to make them. I had a job, I didn't have to make them, but they paid really well, and they paid for vacations and other things, fixing up the house and all sorts of, and also I kind of felt guilty having this nice studio and not using it for anything else. But for probably 9 months or a year, that was like basically all of my extra creative energy, which was really none, went into those videos. And going from a place where you make videos pretty much for a living and you love it, to then making videos when you have a job but is extra cash on the side, but you are in such a bad mental place that you just dread making them so much and you have to force yourself to make them. Wow, that is a different swing. Not complaining in the sense that it was a really cool opportunity. It was great. Extra money is always good. But it's just always interesting when you realize how much of a different headspace you're in. And for those of you who are maybe out there struggling a little bit, even the pandemic it was a mess. And I'm very grateful that I had a job through the pandemic and wasn't trying to continue to do the Justin and Greg-like things that we were doing prior to the pandemic. The stability was really, really good. I think that there were many, many people who didn't realize how bad their mental health got. And for some people, there could be all sorts of reasons, but just one thing that I know, when I started my own company 8, 9, 10 years ago, I don't know how long that was, I spent the first 2 weeks sitting in my basement and just working in my basement. And I'm not even that extroverted, but I'm a little bit extroverted, I would say. And I was depressed. And I know the feeling of being depressed now. And I was certainly depressed back then because I just didn't have enough human contact. And it was amazing. After 2 weeks, I thought, I've made this horrible decision and life's a mess and I should have never done this. And then all I had to do was go sit at a coffee shop, be around other people. Just, again, not talking with everybody, just being around other people. And it helped me so, so much. Or when I had clients going to the office, seeing a few people, that being removed from some people during the pandemic was probably so, so difficult on them. Not even realizing they think it's the pandemic, but not for everybody. I'm not saying in every circumstance, but for some people, just not being able to be around people would be really, really hard on everything mentally. Just one anecdote there. So if you're not doing so well and you're mildly extroverted, but you're still on like a work from home thing, get out to the coffee shops, see some people. If you have the opportunity to do a little bit of hybrid, just can't recommend it enough for your own mental well-being. But for me, I was not in a good spot. And even I haven't wanted to make videos for a long time. I started a little golf Instagram because I was having fun with golf, but it was just like no pressure. And it's funny having a YouTube channel, 20-some thousand subscribers, pretty small in the scheme of things, but also big enough that you can reach still a lot of people. You can make a few bucks, not a ton, but you can make a little bit of money doing it. But you have this like pressure to like keep feeding the beast and keep feeding the channel. Thankfully, I just got to the spot where I'm like, I'm just not going to do that. I am where I'm at. I just not in a good space to be able to do that. And so I just left it alone. And even today, I don't know what, inspired me to make this video. It's Easter Monday, had the day off. My studio was a mess. I decided to clean it up a little. The last time that we used it was some of the boys came over and we all played Call of Duty in the same room. And it's actually quite a technical feat to be able to allow like comms to have microphones and talk to each other in a room where it doesn't run over the internet, because then you get lag and it's horrible. So you have to all have physical microphones but still mix in your game audio. It's quite the thing. It is a huge undertaking to set it all up. It's a big mess. It requires lots of equipment. It's neat that we're able to do it, and those nights are fun, but it was still a mess from that. So I got that cleaned up, and I don't know. Something's shifting. Something, I don't know how to describe it. Something's shifting inside of me. And I've been making lots of like health changes, cut out. I know it seems funny, but gluten, I didn't realize how much that affected me. I cut it out within 4 weeks. I was no longer bloated. I lost like 15 or 20 pounds, like rapidly. It's all stayed off. And then I cut out dairy and sugar for months. I had a blizzard last night, so clearly back on that, but in a more of a mild sense. But even I eat a bag of chips every single night, and I've kept off the weight. So the gluten thing was a little bit. Started walking more, trying to be outside. Wintertime in Canada, when it's minus 30 or minus 40, I actually got winter stuff so I could walk on pretty much any day. That's been a little bit helpful. I'm on like a tiny bit of medication for a little extra serotonin. Not a ton, but a little bit. And all those things combined somehow have made this magical day where I feel okay giving a life update and rambling on for you guys for a while. But yeah, that's where things are at. I don't know. Like, am I going to keep making more videos? Maybe. If I'm inspired to do it, could be. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it's just nice to feel good on a day and give you guys all a bit of an update. Those of you who've been following along for a long time, somebody was commenting who I was like, oh, I have a YouTube channel. I told them like a year ago and then proceeded not to make another video for a year. Hi, Simon, if you're watching. Anyway, here's YouTube life update. But yeah, busy at work, busy with family, have a studio. It's cold down here because it's in the basement. And sometimes I don't want to be in here for long periods of time. I used to have my PlayStation right over here, and this is where I would play. But then the problem is that, yeah, it was cold and I felt disconnected because it's a two-story house. So I have a setup where I can play in my bed, sitting beside my wife, and it's really funny. But yeah, otherwise, I like being down here. This is a cool setup. And it's special and a privilege to be able to create. But also, if creating is a pressure and it's not fun for you and don't have to do it, don't do it. Just take a break. And then maybe you'll feel better another day. And I may not feel like making another video for another year. Doesn't matter. But the pressure being off is certainly helpful. So that's my like weird, long-winded life update. In case you were curious where things are at, that's where things are at. And I'm not going to make a clickbaity thumbnail. I'm totally curious. Let's probably have like 200 views. And that's fine because who cares about the views? And social media is a disaster and can be really bad for mental health. Take a break from it, delete it off your phone, get off it. Even me, I'm stuck on this loop of like going on Twitter, which is like poison. Every time mentally I say this is poison, and it's kind of like, shouldn't even watch it or like go on it because it's just so negative. Man, people just need to like get outside and breathe a little. Jeepers. But anyway, people are mad about everything. But the good news is, and this is what the most important thing, this is the last thing I'm going to leave you with, is 98% of the world is not what you see online. There's so many just normal, good people who just want to live their life, have fun, laugh, be a meaningful contributor to society. And there's 1% on the other side that are just so vocal and angry and out there all the time and think that they're changing the world by yelling at politicians on Twitter or leaving nasty comments on people or pushing out their causes. But they're so disconnected from how the real world works. So don't listen to those people. You know, go be you, be helpful, be kind to somebody. Just go out, hang out with your friends and realize life is actually can be really, really good when you put on some good perspective and don't believe what they're saying online. That's not an accurate representation of the world. I walk through the airport every day, thousands of people in there, and I think, man, most of these people are doing just fine. And all the things that people are angry about online, these people don't care. And they're the vast majority of people. They're out there, they're good people, they want to have fun. So go out there, be a great person, be kind to somebody today. That's it. What did I say? I'm Justin. Thanks for watching.